Hello, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with No BS Golf, presented by P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Well, we had to say finish the old Masters there, and a little bit of I guess, not an upset or anything like that. Just kind of wish we would have had players battling it out coming down the stretch. Almost felt like they gave it away to old Scotty there. I mean, played good golf for sure, of course, but he didn't really get challenged a ton, anyways. Felt like a lot of the players kept throwing shots away, and but that's the way it goes, I guess. But on to the next one, right? And but it was good Masters overall, and there was a lot of it was it. I heard an interesting comment. I don't know if it was for real or not, and I don't have the experience to be able to say either way. Somebody said that there was a plan or something in place already where Augusta was increasing the number of badges by like a lot. And I don't know. I don't think that doesn't sound right. So y'all can tell me, down in the comments section if you were there, what you experienced, if you saw, did it seem like there were a lot more players or not? People, not players, sorry, gallery, bigger gallery sizes, anything like that. Would love to hear some of your feedback, and would love to find out, hey, what'd you enjoy? What'd you get out of it? I was talking to a pro at the club here a little while back, and I think she went up Monday and Wednesday, and I said, yeah, and we agreed. We'd rather go early in the week and practice because, it's not near as much going on, for one. And, you go to a tournament, I mean, you really don't get to see a whole lot, to be honest. It's hard to. I mean, unless you're, like, working hard to make it happen. And rather watch it on TV, to be honest. I know. Yikes. What do you mean you don't want to go Masters? I do. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to. I'm saying for the most part, especially all the other tournaments of the year, if anything, I want to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the practice times and the practice rounds was a little bit quieter, and you actually get to see more stuff. So anyhow, good Masters week. Loved it. All right. Wanted to pop on. Don't have a lot of time here, but we got all kinds of things going on. I just scheduled 3 more evaluation lessons here in the last 20 minutes. And good news, more new students. All right, let's get this going. And put a pop quiz up there. Didn't know you was going to get a pop quiz today, did you? But I, working with some ladies in the clinic yesterday, definitely saw this in 2 different forms. That was the fun. The fun thing about when you start working with individuals, there's kind of a basic A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? If you get down to doing this right. And you kind of figure out along the way, and this is where the experience of teaching, and unfortunately, some of you students are kind of your guinea pigs. Ooh, sorry. Hey, no BS golf here, folks. I'll tell you straight up. Probably there's no way of knowing. If I had to estimate, probably my first couple thousand for sure lessons were not very good. Pitiful, in fact. To the point, dang, I wish I could go give that money back. And the reality is, it's the way it's going out there right now for a lot of folk that are trying to build their teaching careers. And to some degree, that's just part of the process. And everybody said, well, how are we going to fix that? I'm like, man, there ain't no fix to that, unfortunately. Like, some of this comes with time. 25 years trying my hardest now. And that's just the way it is. You can't hand over 25 years to someone who's only been doing it a year. But anyhow, one of the things you start figuring out and learning over time is that, yeah, we need this, we need that, and certain moves and positions, and and even at Golf Tech when I was there, we used actual measurements. So like you actually measure the hip rotation and measure what's called hip tilt, so the angle of the hip to the ground kind of, and then the bendiness, so like the bending, like forward bending and backwards bending, like an angle of the hips as well. And then there are measurements that would say green, yellow, red, so good, not so good, terrible, right, whatever. And but when it comes into starting to really begin to understand, if we're in this position here, hate the word, but top of the golf swing, okay? And we know that there's some things we definitely want to have happen for all good players. Basically, get that club on plane, sort of. Bad word, but I'm just going to use it anyways. And, kind of, again, bad word, hold angle, not really, but, for the sake of today's presentation. Not throw the club out away from the body super hard and fast, not get super steep, things of that nature. But when you start to go through that, there's a certain sequence of motion, too, that is required physically to actually have that take place. The advancement of the club around the body, and you drop it down, and then you hold that, and then you finally square it up and release that sucker and all that good stuff. Well, there's a certain amount of coordinated extra stuff that has to go on with the body itself, which is where all that tilting, turning, bending, number stuff comes into play a lot of times. And it doesn't have to. I mean, honestly, I can look at a player and pretty much guess within 3 degrees where they're at on almost all those measurements. And that's from, thousands of hours is spent looking at swings in the bays and looking at those numbers, both tour pro and amateur. So, anyhow, what I said was, okay, what should happen first? This is a fun one because I almost feel like to some degree it's probably a trick question, sort of, but whatever. I gave some inputs. I said, okay, in the transition, if we're focused on the hips specifically, what should happen first? Should the hips rotate to the target, right? So turn in your hip, like your belt buckle to the target. Should they tilt? So like if you lowered your left hip or if you lowered your right hip, kind of like my shoulders are doing right now, it's a tilting action. Or bend. So if I bend towards the camera, bend backwards away from the camera. Well, what should happen first? Now the crazy part is, I'm going to bet, hey, go ahead and put some guesses down there in the comments, by the way. Let's see who gets it right. I'm going to bet almost everybody goes with one specific answer, and absolutely nobody goes with another answer. What do you think? I want to find out. I'm going to leave this up for a while. I'm not going to answer it because I want to see if we know anything out there. I put it on the old Twitter, so at P45KDG. Answer it there also, or on Facebook if you happen to be there. Just look up P45 Knuckle Down Golf. I want to find out, which should it be? The answer's probably going to surprise you, to be honest. And the thing is like, it don't matter if you're right or wrong. Just have fun with it. Who cares? But the point of it is that I see so many people, talked to a lady yesterday, YouTubing it all over the place. And I mean, 2 of the ladies that were there, now one's just kind of a beginner, so I mean, of course she ain't doing this, but the reason for the second one, neither one of them was really doing this is the point. And for good reason. And part of it was the things leading up to it had already prevented them, even if they knew they were supposed to do anything. They didn't, but they were out of position anyways, or beginner, so that's, fair game, right? Well, we kind of talked through it with both scenarios, and they both had very different reasons. They both had very different goals to accomplish. This is a short-term clinic, but in the short term, what I was trying to get them to do. Even though it was basically referencing part of the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the main things, the big key parts, I didn't want both of them doing exactly this much turning and this much tilting and this much bending. I didn't even talk about this stuff, to be honest. I used a way different form of talking and standing there in front of them, obviously, and visually showing them, how are we going to do this? What should you... And then there was great questions. Should I do this or should I do that? Absolutely let that happen. You bet. Go with it. And, so for everybody, we do want A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But then within the scope of differences, it's going to come together slightly different as well. But anyways, it's a fun question. I think these are the things that players should start understanding and figuring out and learning, because so many are out there, you see them pumping their arm, holding an angle thing, and, all types of funky gyrations, and I was like, what are they doing? Please just stop. I don't even know what's going on over there. I'm going to turn my head because I don't even want to see this no more. Yikes. And anyways, so go look it up again. So from transition from the top, focusing on the hips. What comes first? Tilt, turn, or bend? Very soon, hopefully, gonna have a whole nother little fun, maybe Saturday. It was really a Saturday fun thing to put up. I'm probably gonna be on a different channel, so I'll just reference it here at some point. But starting a new conversation series, and then at some point, I'm really excited. I hope I can get him soon. A young man's name's Reagan. I want to get him on here and have a good conversation that I think will be beneficial for every single person out there, even if you're living up in Alaska. Hey, Alaska, how you doing? By the way, we can do the lesson process through the FaceTime and Zooms and all kinds of stuff. So don't hesitate. Reach out, folks. Anyhow, just kind of close up here. Got some new stuff hopefully coming down the pipeline, but I'll keep throwing out my dailies. This is fun. Hopefully you're enjoying it. But give me some comments, folks. Not getting a lot of comments yet, so put your guess in. That's easy. Just pick one. And if you want to know about anything else, if you want to talk about anything else, let me know. I got all kinds of teaching going on coming up here at the golf. So www.thegolfpub.com. My local partnership that I have built with these guys. Check it out. I'm gonna be up there a whole lot. I'm gonna be up there in the evening here tomorrow night. It's a long, fun day, and men's clinic in the morning, and then evaluation, and then 2 at night. So full day. Anyhow, do me a favor. If you want to help me out, hit that smash that like button, subscribe, and share. Send it out there for me, folks. Give it to your friends on the old Twitter, on the Facebook, you name it. Any clicks like that helps me a ton. So I really appreciate that. And give me your answers somewhere. Hopefully we get a good one here, or a correct one. And that's it for today. Hope y'all had a great Masters weekend. Gear up for the spring. Take your evaluation lesson if you haven't. It's time to get started now. Hit me up on Twitter at P45KDG. Email P45 knuckledowngolf, all one word, at gmail.com. That's it for now, folks. Ryan Carpenter, No BS Golf. Take care.